investment. It was a hell of a thing, you know, but terrible for the planet. And this is more than pay to play. It's pay to slay our chance at a livable future, our clean air, our clean water, our affordable energy bills. These crooks need consequences, not for an endless supply of our hard-earned cash. We're facing unprecedented attacks, and it needs to be met with an unprecedented response. And that's why I'm working on legislation that will take back our hard-earned money from these billionaires' oil and gas-soaked hands. My recently introduced Fat Cat Act would make high-flying polluters in their private jets pay the bare minimum by increasing taxes on private jet fuel to $2 a gallon from 20 cents a gallon, so that we can start to collect billions back from what they do as they are flying around our country. And soon I will reintroduce legislation to close 2 huge fossil fuel loopholes, one to ensure all offshore oil and gas leases in the Gulf of Mexico pay their fair share of royalties, which as of 2018 had swindled us out of approximately $18 billion. And another to ensure that all types of crude oil pay into the fund that pays for immediate oil spill removal costs and damages, which as of 2017 would generate approximately $665 million over 10 years. So from the halls of Congress to the main streets of America, from the courtrooms to the factory floors, and out to the streets, we have to fight for our future. So it's time to stop the subsidies, consolidation, collusion, banish these oil-soaked big oil billionaires to the history books. The future is not for sale to the looters and the polluters. The fight's not going to be easy, but we're here. This is not going to be, in the words of Rachel Carson, a silent spring. Yeah. Our voices are going to be raised. Thank you all so much for what you are doing.
Give it up for Senator Markey. Hey, ho, ho.
Fossil fuels have got to go.
Hey, ho, ho. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey, ho, ho. Fossil fuels have got to go. It's now my honor to introduce my senator, Senator Chris Van Hollen. He has been a leading champion in our climate fight since day one. Welcome, Senator.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you. So let's say it loud and clear. We're here united to end polluter handouts. Are we going to get the job done?
Yes.
I want to thank you, Joseph, the Sierra Club, all the organizations who are gathered here. Reverend Yearwood, it's always good to see you and the Hip Hop Caucus. Good to be here with Congressman Omar and my colleague, Senator Eddie Markey, and really all of you. Thank you for your leadership. What we've witnessed in the last 22 days have been 2 of the most corrupt bargains in American history. First, Elon Musk gives $286 million to elect Donald Trump, and Donald Trump gives Elon Musk the keys to federal agencies to conduct an illegal raid on behalf of the most powerful people in the country. That's corrupt bargain number 1. The other corrupt bargain was the one that unfolded down in Mar-a-Lago during the middle of the campaign, when you had the gathering of the biggest oil companies in the world with then candidate Trump. And candidate Trump says, you know what? If you just give me boatloads of money, I will essentially give you a blank check to get rid of regulations and to essentially give you, the big oil companies, everything you want, even if it's going to cost the American people and going to cost all of us in terms of our health care and the destruction that that will wreak. Those are 2 huge corrupt bargains, and we're seeing them play out right now, because polluters, if you look at what the Trump administration is proposing, are right now already raking in billions of dollars. You heard about the profits going up just in a short period of time. But while they're raking in profits, they're doing a huge amount of damage to the American people and to people around the world. And we're all paying for it, right? We're the ones who are paying for this. $20 billion per year in direct taxpayer subsidies to the big oil companies. We're paying for that while they're doing the polluting. Hundreds of billions of dollars in healthcare costs. And this is not just a question of dollars, this is a question of lives and people's health situation. And then, of course, the billions of dollars of damage being done by the fact that we have more frequent and more intense and more destructive extreme weather events, right? From hurricanes to forest fires with drought, all of those costs, we, the taxpayers, are incurring, while Donald Trump is giving away billions of dollars of taxpayer subsidies to these corporations. So this is what we have to blow the whistle on. This is what we have to be out there talking about to the American people, because while he's giving those big tax breaks to the big oil companies, he's actually freezing support for clean energy, right? For renewable energy, for energy efficiency efforts. Those are essential parts of our overall energy supply. Not only are they important to our supply, but those clean energy sources also help protect our people, protect their health, and protect the planet. And yet, as part of this corrupt bargain, Donald Trump is getting rid of those clean energy efforts as a gift to the big oil executives. And I can tell you, our adversaries like China and Russia, they are liking this because they are going to eat our lunch when it comes to clean energy and all of the good jobs that would be lost if we actually cut off our support for clean energy in this country. I am proud to represent the state of Maryland. We're home to NOAA, the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration. A lot of Americans don't know what they do, but they collect really important data that goes into the weather reports that we all rely on. Like when we want to know if there's an extreme weather event coming, NOAA puts that together. The National Weather Service has its home at NOAA. And that's why it's especially disturbing that one of the agencies that Elon Musk is raiding is NOAA. And the reports suggest that what they're after in part there is going after the climate research work, right? So this is really important. In addition to relying on that data for forecasting extreme weather events, which help save lives, about a third of our economy also is subject to weather-related events. Farmers, fishermen, all of those parts of our economy. So they're prepared to essentially stop the climate science. They say that NOAA is like the source of the climate alarmism. We should be alarmed by what's happening to climate. And we have news for them. When you turn off the alarm, that doesn't turn off your fire. You turn off the fire alarm, it just means you don't hear it and you get burned up. That's what they want to do. The other thing they want to do in NOAA is they want to privatize the National Weather Service, right? It's a public good. We all rely on it. Taxpayers do invest there. It's a good investment. We share that information with the American people. They want to privatize it. So they want somebody to be able to make a profit off of that information that's collected, which means the American people are going to have to pay more to get that information, even as they pay more because they want to turn off the alarms and forget about the costs of climate change. So we got a lot of work to do, but we're doing it. One of the things we have to do is hold these big oil companies accountable. And that's why thank you all for the support. I introduced the Polluter Pays Climate Fund. A simple idea, but one that I think is shared by the American people, which is those who created the mess, the climate mess, need to pay to clean up the climate mess. And those who contributed the most, the big oil companies, they should pay the most, because otherwise they're just freeloading on the rest of us.
That's right.
That's what they're doing, because they are causing all this damage, the billions of dollars we talked about in terms of extreme weather events and the harm that does, in terms of the benefits they get through subsidies, including also the harm they do on the health front. They're doing all that damage. They're doing all that damage, but they're not paying for it. They're not paying a penny. In fact, the American people have been paying them. And Donald Trump, they think we're not paying enough, we the American people. So they want to give more. So we're here to say, as the sign says, united to end polluter handouts.
Right. Yeah.
Are we going to end
Yes.
polluter handouts?
Yes.
Are we going to shut down the most corrupt bargain in American history? Two of them, the Elon Musk corrupt bargain and the corrupt bargain with the big oil companies.
Yes.
You bet we are. Thank you all very much. You got to fight this in the courts and in Congress and in places across the country. That's what we're doing here. Thank you.
Give it up for Senator Van Hollen. All right, say it with me. Hey, hey.
Ho, ho. Fossil fuels have got to go.
Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Fossil fuels have got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Fossil fuels have got to go. So we are here once again to stand up to Donald Trump and the oligarchs, the oil oligarchs who want to privatize our government and plunder our tax dollars. The oligarchs who want to externalize costs so that we, the people, end up paying for their pollution and the damages they cost. Are we going to let this happen?
No!
We're going to stand up to it. And one of our best champions in standing up against the oligarchy is here today, Senator Bernie Sanders from the great state of Vermont.
Well, let me begin by just thanking all of you for what you are doing. There's not much that I can add to what Chris Van Hollen said. I understand and appreciate and share with you that these are dark times in America. And at a time when climate change is ravaging not only communities throughout our own country, think LA, think North Carolina, think my own state of Vermont, unprecedented floods that hit us over the last few years, think China, think India, think Europe, at a time when millions of people are suffering the consequences of climate change. People are being uprooted from the land that they work because of drought, because of floods. They can't grow the crops that keep them alive. Communities are going to be spending hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars repairing the damage. In the midst of all of that, we've got a president who thinks that climate change is a hoax originating in China. And the truth is that the American people know that climate change is very real, and they know it because they are seeing it with their own eyes. They don't have to read about it, they are seeing it. What we are fighting for, and what you guys have done a great job in helping lead the country, is to understand that if we do not get a handle on cutting carbon emissions, if we do not stop giving polluters huge tax breaks and corporate welfare, the planet that we will be leaving my 7 grandchildren and your kids and future generations will be increasingly unhealthy and uninhabitable. That's just a fact. It's not Bernie Sanders talking, that is what every scientist who has studied the issue understands to be true. It's what the vast majority of the American people understand to be true. So we have got to have the courage to stand up to the polluters, to people who are destroying this planet, and rally the American people around an agenda that says, yes, we're going to cut carbon emissions, we're going to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And by the way, when we do that, we not only slow down climate change, we create millions of good paying jobs. So thank you very much for what you're doing. The future of the planet depends